You know that beautiful, glowing screen in your pocket? It's not magic, it's actually a symphony of microscopic components all working in perfect harmony. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most important conductors in that symphony, a tiny, powerful chip that literally brings your display to life. So here's the game plan. We'll start by understanding the role this little hero plays. Then we'll meet the company behind it. And after that, we're diving right into the nuts and bolts of the ICN9905, how it handles both the display and your touch. And finally, we'll see what it all means for the devices we use every single day. All right, let's set the stage. We tap, we swipe, we watch movies, but we hardly ever think about what's happening just millimeters beneath our fingertips. It's a fantastic question, isn't it? How does a simple piece of glass know exactly what you want it to do? And how does it paint such vivid, colorful pictures in, an instant? Well, the answer lies in a really specialized piece of hardware. And this is the key, the display driver IC, or integrated circuit. Think of it as a translator between your phone's main brain, the processor, and the screen itself. It takes all those complex commands and turns them into light, color, and interaction. And you can't really talk about a specific piece of tech without talking about the people who actually built it. And in this case, that's a company called Chipone. Now, these folks are not new to the game, not at all. They've been laser-focused on display chip technology for 17 years, which in the tech world is basically an eternity. And their focus is really broad. They provide total display control solutions across 8 major areas, everything from the phone in your hand to those massive commercial displays you see. But here's the number that really shows their commitment to innovation. Over 2,500 patent applications. That tells you they aren't just making chips. They're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's even possible with display technology. So, to put it simply, Chipone is a world-leading display IC design company. Their whole mission is to provide total display control solutions. And as we're about to see, they are exceptionally good at it. Okay, so now that we know the maker, let's zoom in from the company to the specific component we're here to talk about today, the ICNL9905. Right, so the ICN9905 isn't just a display driver. It's what's called a system on chip, or SoC. And this is a huge deal. See, instead of needing 2 separate chips, one for display and another for touch, an SoC combines them. This saves physical space, which helps make our phones thinner, and it saves power because all the signals are traveling shorter distances inside that one single chip. I love this analogy. The chip is basically a single choreographer telling every single pixel how to light up, while at the exact same time, it's listening for every single tap from your fingers. It is an incredibly efficient and, well, elegant solution. Okay, let's break down that choreography, starting with the first half of the performance, how it creates the image you actually see. So what can this thing do? Well, first, its RAM-less design means it needs less power and space, which is absolutely critical in a thin phone. It has 810 source channels. You can think of these as tiny individual paintbrushes that feed precise color data to each pixel, making your images super sharp and vibrant. Then you get features like digital gamma correction, which makes sure the colors you see are true to life, and my favorite, content adaptive brightness control. That's a clever trick that dims the display just a little bit in darker scenes to save precious battery life without you even noticing. So how does all that visual information get to the chip? It travels down something called the MIPI DSI. Just think of it as a standardized, super fast data highway built specifically for mobile devices. The phone's main processor sends a fire hose of data down this highway, and the ICN9905 is sitting at the other end, ready to direct all that traffic to exactly the right pixels on the screen. Now for the second half of the performance. A screen isn't just for looking at, it's for interacting with, right? So let's see how this chip handles your touch. Inside the chip, there's a powerful 32-bit brain, or MCU, that's dedicated just to touch. It's constantly scanning the screen for your finger, and here's the key number. It checks for your touch 180 times every single second. That incredible speed is why your swipes and taps feel instant and buttery smooth. It also uses this clever technique called time division multiplexing, which is kind of like a traffic cop for data. It makes sure the signals for drawing the image and the signals for detecting your touch take turns so perfectly that they never ever interfere with each other. And just like the display, the touch system has its own communication path. This diagram here shows how the touch controller part of the chip connects back to the main device, sending the coordinates of your taps and gestures so the phone knows exactly what you want to do, instantly. Okay, we've gone pretty deep into the tech. So let's zoom back out and connect all of this to the world around us. What does this chip actually power? The answer is really simple and direct. This is the kind of chip that makes modern mobile devices possible. Smartphones, of course, but really any portable battery-powered product that needs a high-quality screen that you can also touch. You know, this quote from the official data sheet really says it all. The core value, the whole reason this chip exists, is that it's a highly integrated SoC. It combines two critical functions into one. So here's the bottom line. This tiny piece of silicon engineering has a huge impact. Because it does two jobs in one, it allows designers to make our phones thinner. Because it's engineered for efficiency, it helps our batteries last longer. And because it's so incredibly fast, it makes our interactions with our devices feel instantaneous. And that really brings us to the future. This level of integration is just the beginning. As these tiny choreographers get even more powerful, combining even more functions into one package, what new experiences and capabilities will our screens unlock? It's something to think about the next time you swipe right.